Out here to John Yoo, the former Deputy Assistant Attorney General of the United States, law professor at all legal schmutty pens. All right. Well, John, I loved talking to you this past week because I always learn a lot. And the first thing I want to try to learn from you is this issue of a released report that might be a redacted report. Is it really such a big deal if it's heavily redacted, if it's heavily blacked out?
Yes, great to be with you again. It does look to me like there will be significant redactions, and this is why. Usually, affidavits like this are not produced while the investigation is still going on, because the search warrant itself, which we have seen, just tells you what you're allowed to look for. It's the affidavit that explains to the court why the government thinks it's necessary. And so what you're likely to have in there is confidential informant information. So, for example, there's rumors and gossip out there that there's a confidential informant inside Mar-a-Lago who told the FBI and the Justice Department that they saw documents being moved in and out and where exactly they were. So the government will probably redact everything related to that person. The other thing in the affidavit that would probably be redacted is the nature of the ongoing investigation, why the Justice Department went to these lengths at this time to take the unprecedented, first of its type, search of a former president's house, what crimes they think they committed. Now, I think what's likely to happen is that justice is probably going to over-redact. It's still up to the judge here to decide what to allow out or not the FBI.
So, John, in the meantime, we're hearing that Donald Trump and his legal team will be responding to this and presumably addressing whether this was a violation of the Fourth Amendment on exactly how far you can go searching someone's home. And this was the concern of our founders way back in the 1700s, but just quoting it here, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Didn't want to get weighty about it, but to explain that's what that amendment's all about. It doesn't say no to such searches, but I think what they're saying is you have to have a pretty damn good reason. Do you think that this, so much we don't know, was a pretty damn good reason, that it was justified, and that the government then has to prove that this was justified?
Yeah, the problem here is that the search warrant was so broad, it may not fit exactly the crimes that the government says it thinks are likely to have happened. So the government has been saying, and the search warrant says, the crime that they think happened is that President Trump took documents involving national defense secrets back out of the White House to Mar-a-Lago that he's no longer allowed to have after he's president, and he kept them in an unsecured facility. That might be true. There's probable cause that might have happened. Well, we can actually see the documents. The government can prove that by saying, here are the documents we showed. They could actually, and I think they should, produce and release some of the documents they found in President Trump's
John, what if some of those documents end up not being justified with the stuff they got from the raid? In other words, much like the search for weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, for example, the intelligence seemed ample at the time and justifiable at the time, but it didn't turn out to be right at the time. Could this be a case like that?
No, that's a great point, Neil, because the warrant itself says you can take and search for any document that was produced by President Trump between during the years of his presidency. That's a much broader category, right, than those that they're looking for in the search warrant, and that's what we want to see.
Got it. John, thank you very much. John, you following these developments. Again, we'll keep you posted what the Trump folks say and have to say on the Fourth Amendment. Keeping you posted, meanwhile, on a big admission by Mitch McConnell about Republicans and their prospects after this.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.